Welcome to part 4 of the Q&A, and this is actually going to be the final part here. So it may be shorter compared to other parts, but I think we're going to get everything in here, every question. So kicking off with the Retro Scotty, his questions. And a great guy up here, Scotty, also formerly Multi-Minded Scotty, but now he's Retro Scotty. He says, "Hey John, hope it's not too late for several last minute questions. Question 1. What led to you creating your own channel? I don't know if I've asked this question." It actually started back in 2008 when Rambo 4 came out, and seeing that in the theater and having a great time with that. And after that, I'm like, let me hit up YouTube and see what people are saying about the film and, check out some reviews. And that's when I discovered Rambo After Life, Matt. And I started watching his videos and I saw his review of Rambo 4. And when I started up a YouTube, in the beginning, I started making tributes because I believe that same year, Stan Winston had passed away. So I made a tribute to Stan Winston, and there's a couple of other tributes I made to some films like Above the Law with Steven Seagal and Falling Down with Michael Douglas. And for that one, I used the song Separate Ways by Journey, When You Can Get Away with That. And then I started making other videos and, becoming friends with Matt and watching his stuff. And shortly after that, becoming friends with Mike OCP and Wild Man Beyond. And there were some, time in the beginning where, like, I would create a channel and then I would shut it down and start a new one, really for no good reason. But over the years, I've made some really good friends. I mean, Fabio, the Italian Stallion 51, Matt Thomas, Studio Red Band, DJ Donnelly, and other people up here like the Reese 007, which he was making videos for a while, and I think he stopped. And I understand because of life and stuff, but he was a cool guy. And, people that have left, kind comments and, like Junebug Films and other people, and becoming friends with you and Sam. And then there's other people out there too that I'm leaving out, but, I've made some really good friends over the years with YouTube and, but also too discovering movies. And I can't tell you how many films I've discovered because of YouTube, because of guys like, Matt and Mike, and it's because right now my collection is so big, and my love for films has definitely expanded in the last decade, really, 10, 12 years. Like if I didn't discover these guys and, watch their stuff, and like now, I can't imagine, not discovering all these great movies. But because of YouTube, because of, people like Matt and people like Mike and Wild Man and Studio Red Band and Fabio, all these great guys that I'm still friends with, and we still talk about movies, and we still have collaborations and discussions, and we have fun, and we have rants. And yeah, I mean, I may not be the best at making videos, and right now I don't have, a big subscriber count, but, I still enjoy, making videos and, chatting with the guys and doing podcasts and live streams, and I'm going to keep doing it. And yeah, I mean, YouTube, it's not perfect. Over the years, it's been a pain in the ass, but I still have you guys. I have all the guys that I mentioned and the people up here that have been kind, like DJ Donnelly and Junebug, and people in the Q&A here, because, there for a while, I won't hear from some people, but whenever I do a Q&A, it's like, hey, there's a Turbo Tech War, or, there's that guy, and it's like, it's cool. It's cool to keep in touch with people up here, and that people still watch my stuff. And even before this channel, like, I had a channel and things were going great. but YouTube decided to shut that down because I had misleading content and deceptive thumbnails. I'm like, my ass. So I'm like, fuck YouTube. I'm going to start all over. So I've had this channel for almost 3 years, but things have been going great. And like I said, I'm still friends with everybody up here, and I'm still learning. That's the thing, is I don't know everything about films. I'm like a sponge. I'm still discovering movies, films that I have in my collection that I still haven't watched yet. Like, for example, recently watched a film called Biloxi Blues, Matthew Broderick, and I enjoyed that film. So, and that's just one out of many examples that, because of YouTube, I'm able to discover all these films and expand my knowledge and expand, and be, again, like a sponge and, take in everything. I don't know everything, but, it's been a great journey. Yeah, it's had its ups and downs, but along the way, I've made great friends. So, yeah, that's kind of how I started, the short version, but great question, though. Question 2, what original film or franchise that wasn't watchable could be rebooted into something better? Well, if you talk about a franchise, if each film was bad, like, I know I keep bringing this up, but Leprechaun, like, I look at that series, like, why did it need to be, why did Leprechaun need 6 films on top of that, a reboot? It's like you reboot a shitty movie, which I know that can be objective. Some people out there like the first Leprechaun, but it's like, do I want diarrhea? Do I want vomit? Neither. Get that shit out of my face. But when it comes to franchises, I don't know. If a whole franchise is bad, like, how can I turn it into something better? Original films, that's more easier because it's just one film. Like, if it's a film from the past that is okay or watchable or a time waster, I can say, well, if this was done today, you can give it more of a budget. You can do little things to make it a little bit more better. So it's easier to improve an original film, like a film that wasn't good or could be better in the past, than a whole franchise. Because with a franchise, you think about the first movie, it's like, okay, here's your springboard, here's the one film. That's what I don't understand about the Leprechaun movies. People can like the first movie, but why did it need fucking 6 movies? Like, it seems like with each one, it just got worse and worse. And that's the thing, is with the sequel, is that you want to do it to where you can improve on the first movie. So if it's a really shitty franchise, it's hard to really make it better. But if it's one film, an original film that, if it's a film in the past, like, if the film is okay, or it's a time waster, like, it's here in the background, it's on in the background. Like, I don't know what kind of examples that I can give at the moment, but certainly there's some films out there that weren't good, that maybe if now they were done, they could be improved on if given a little bit more of a budget, or better characters, better direction, better effects. So, but that's a good question, though. Question 3, do you think it's ridiculous that certain Scream and Shout Factory releases go out of print and eBay sellers jack insane price amounts? Well, I haven't had that experience, but yeah, it is stupid. That kind of goes along with a lot of people out there that For example, they'll have a VHS tape of something, of a film, and because it's rare, that we're going to charge $100 or $200, like a freaking car payment. And I'm like, this is really stupid. You know, why do people do this? Why are people so greedy? I think that's what it is. It's people that are greedy and they want, I don't know why. I mean, I haven't had that experience. Like I haven't, but I know what you mean. Yeah, people are just greedy, I guess. Question number 4. How does my new name channel, Retro Scotty, sound to you? Sounds pretty cool. Has a cool little ring to it. You know, I know you talked about, you know, how you love films from the 80s and the 90s and even before that. So, yeah, it fits you know, that name fits your theme of your channel and what you review and, you know, films of the past that you discuss and talk about. So I say keep it. I mean, sounds pretty cool. Question number 5. And this is a good one. Do you think social media, i.e. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, in general, became so toxic? And if you had the power, would you ban it for life? Well, and while I do have Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Twitter, starting with that, you know, there's a few, I don't know what I'm talking about. There's a few people that I follow, but I will say out of those 3 platforms, Twitter is the worst. And it's not just because of fans that are toxic, like, you know, this crazed fan is going after a director they hate and they tag them every day in something. I'm not even talking about that, but just people in general are so fucking out there and lost. And it's really the epicenter of the offended. And, you know, people that are just so sensitive. And again, out of those 3, Twitter is the worst. The only reason why I still have it is because I like, you know, I follow a few people up there. I've made 1 or 2 friends from Twitter. So that's why I still have it. But at the same time, you know, what I do see up there a lot is just a lot of people that people need help. And that's just you know, saying it kindly, people need fucking help. And, you know, it's like, it seems like every day, especially on that platform, there's something to be offended by. And Twitter just blows the shit out of it. Like, crank it up to 11. Like, you know, or we're offended by, you know, the sunshine. So we're going to start a petition and get all these signatures and we're going to ban the sun. We're going to cancel the sun. And, you know, they get it trending. You know, it's the top, you know, of the trending. Like it's the #1 hashtag, whatever. Instagram, I mean, I have Instagram because for, you know, same reason I have Twitter. I do follow some people up there that I do enjoy. But that one, it's more of, you know, taking like sharing pictures and stuff. But, you know, Facebook I have because of friends and family. You know, I do like to keep in touch with people on Facebook. You know, the only thing is with Facebook is that I've spent lately, when it comes to Facebook, the less time that I spend up there, the better I'm off. And I've noticed that too, is that the people that I would usually see on Facebook post a lot, now I'm seeing people post less. And people that I'm used to seeing on Facebook, I'm not seeing them as much. And I think people are just tired. And the thing is, and that's why I don't really post a whole lot on Facebook, is because, you know, a lot of the crap and chaos that's going on, I really try to keep my peripheral. And it's like whenever you get on one of these platforms, it just pops right back up in your face. And, but, you know, like I said, out of those three, to me, Twitter's way worse because, and it's not, again, it's not just because of toxic fans or people or fanboys that are just mad every day. But it's just people out there that just get so fucking offended over nothing. And people are just trying to cancel out each other every day. And stupid shit trending every day. And it's like at some point my brain can't take this BS. It's got to the point of fucking parody. It's got to the point of, it's like, this is too good to be true. This is, you know, what I'm seeing out there. And yes, I could probably go into some whole tirade about, you know, these platforms and, you know, a lot of what people say out there, I agree 100%, because the way that the media fans the flames of stuff that is out there in regards to trends and news and such, it gets fucking tiring and it fucking chews on your brain. But people going back to it because, you know, they're addictive or, you know, they just can't help themselves, which is why you know, the news, when it comes to the news, like, I stopped watching. I don't give a crap. And really, the best thing for someone to do, and this is what I do, I keep a lot of that BS in my peripheral. You know, if I put too much of my time and focus too much of my time on the BS and the chaos that's happening, you know, it will chew your brain. And, you know, you will start to lose it. But, you know, I know you ask, you know, would I ban these platforms? I don't know about banning. The thing is, you know, there are some good people out there that try, that, you know, like to share good things. But it's like I said, you know, it's a double edge. Like, there's a good side to these platforms that I enjoy keeping in touch with people. You know, I like, you know, reading about movies and all sorts of stuff. I mean, and YouTube is part of that. I mean, YouTube is a platform for which I make videos and talk about movies. But, you know, with these other platforms out there, like Twitter and Facebook, with Twitter being the worst, because people out there are just so, you know, see, look, it's fucking me up. My brain's shutting down because of, I keep talking about Twitter. But Twitter, people are just so freaking lost. Like, I don't know what other word to describe. Like, a person is smart, people are stupid. And dumb, panicky, dangerous animals. And that's what Tommy Lee Jones said in Men in Black. And that's exactly what's happening. But, you know, Facebook, I still keep, because I keep in touch with people. And yeah, I may not, the thing is with Facebook, I'm so in and out of Facebook because the less time that I spend up there, the better. And the less that I read, the better, because of all the shit that I see, that I'm scratching my head like, what the fuck are people smoking? And, you know, I think part of it too is because of what's happening. Everyone is so cooped up, and, you know, that's not good for your mental health. That's not fucking good. You know, especially if you're trying to, and the thing is, you have to keep, you know, strong up here. That may sound cliche, but that's what I've had to do. You know, a lot of this chaos and BS that I see and that I read, I've really had to put off over here out of my line of sight because it's just so fucking ridiculous. And sometimes the best way to, when you come across this stuff, the stuff that you read is to, ignore it. Don't give it your time. And people might say, well, that's the worst thing to do is not say anything. And I'm not saying that I don't care, but sometimes the best thing to do is to be silent, is to, fucking not give this shit the time of your day. There's better things to do. I'd rather talk about stuff that entertains me and stuff that I enjoy. But people just want to focus on the chaos and controversy. To each his own. I'm not going to stop people from doing that, but, I have my own way of, I could talk about movies and, I have my own way. I mean, I have my own sort of technique, if you will. So as far as like banning these platforms, if one day they decide to shut down Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, I would be fine with that, honestly. I would be fine. It wouldn't kill me. YouTube, you leave YouTube because, I enjoy making videos and keeping in touch with people up here like Matt and Fabio and Wildman and you guys, you and Sam and so forth. But, yeah, I mean, I can understand the argument of, that we should shut down these platforms. And again, out of those three, to me, Twitter stands above the rest as being the ultimate worst because I don't know, people need to get outside. People need to get outside, get out of their basement, get outside, quarantine for a little bit, go to the beach, do something. But anyways, I'm kind of going off on a tangent there, but question number 6. Which action star can truly carry the torch this decade like Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Van Damme, Lundgren, and Norris did back in the 80s and 90s? To be honest with you, I don't see any action star. Yeah, I can say, Keanu's doing a great job with the John Wick movies, but the thing is, Keanu's been around for a while. Who can truly, carry that torch? For a while, some years ago, people thought Dwayne Johnson because, he was going to carry on. He was going to be that next big action hero, which there for a little bit, he did some Disney films and then he did the Fast Five movies. But the thing is, he could have been, and I still like Dwayne Johnson, but, he could have been so much more and could have been such a great action hero to really help along the action genre, especially with Arnold, who was still in politics, which, to be honest with you, I'd much rather have had him do more movies. Looking back, he should have never done politics. But, Dwayne Johnson should have done more action movies. Like, he should have been that guy to really be that next Schwarzenegger type. But the thing is, the films he made and the decisions he made throughout the years, doing Disney films and doing damn Jumanji. And it's like, man, you can be doing so much better if you stop choosing these shitty projects. But honestly, I don't see nobody. I don't see anybody carrying on that torch. Honestly, I don't. I mean, it's hard to say who will be the next Arnold or Stallone or Van Damme, Lundgren, Norris, because currently I don't see anybody at the moment that can carry on and help the action genre move forward. the John Wick movies I've enjoyed, and they're great, sort of, if you want to say, a throwback to that time. But, Keanu can only go so far because of age, because he's been around for a minute. I'm a big fan, but there's not anybody new out there that can benefit the genre and that can carry on that torch like a Schwarzenegger or Stallone. So that's my take. Question 7. What can we expect from you in the near future? Random reviews or possibly another Star Marathon? Take care, and I look forward to your answers. Just random reviews. Marathons I'll get to at some point because that Keanu marathon took a little bit. But random videos, random reviews. So, yeah, expect more of that. But thank you, Scotty, for the questions. And next up, we have Jason Smith 0775. Okay. If you had to watch 3 of your favorite movies in 3 different languages, what 3 languages would they be, and what 3 movies would you pick? Okay. I'm going to say my 3, if I had to watch 3 of my favorite movies, I would say like Jaws, TMNT 1990, and Hackers. And the 3 different languages, I would pick, let's see, I say Spanish. Why not? French and Chinese. Or maybe Portuguese or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, some ideas for you. What's a movie you can practically quote from start to finish? Tremors. That's definitely one. Big Trouble in Little China. I love Big Trouble in Little China. That's one that you can quote from start to finish. Great movie, a classic. If you could write one new law that everyone had to obey, what law would you create? Everyone must love Predator 2. Enough said. What do you like more, being a leader or a follower on Twitter? I would say a follower, because nowadays if you're a leader or if you're a big person on YouTube, I mean not YouTube, but Twitter, you better watch your ass. And that's another thing I didn't mention when I was going to my ranting on Twitter there, because you have these people out there that will go back on your Twitter 10, 12 years and find something that they're offended by and rehash it and retweet it and take a snapshot of it and say, hey, look what this guy said. Let's cancel this guy. Let's boycott this guy and get this guy fired. So why would I want to be a big time person on Twitter, if you're just, if it's inevitable that people are just going to dig up your fucking history, and because people have no fucking life and people need to get out of the fucking house, and, they want to take a snapshot of something that you said 9 years ago on Twitter, and they want to boycott you and fire you and cancel you. And so, yeah, I'd rather be a follower. And that's why on Twitter, even I've cut back on followers, because for one, people are just crazy. And two, I don't want to follow so many that I can't catch up. So there you go. But no, I would not want to be some big, person on Twitter, because that just gets you in trouble and you're walking on eggshells. And that's another point too that I can mention. Going back to Twitter for a second, it seems like with that, with that platform, you definitely have to walk on eggshells, because people, people are so fucking offended easily offended. They're offended by a fucking bowl of cereal. That's Twitter for you. They're offended by fucking Twinkies and fucking chicken nuggets. But anyways, I'm going over the top here with that. But yeah, I'll be a follower, sure. What's one pet peeve of yours that you wish you can get rid of because it hampers your enjoyment of life? Um, Procrastination. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing too that I definitely have to work on. Is I'm one that will say I'm going to do something and I don't end up doing it, and I could definitely be more proactive. Um, so there's a couple of things there, but definitely, you know, follow what I'm going to say. Like, if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to shoot for a certain goal, and I'm trying not to do that, especially now, like in my 30s, I can't waste a lot of time. I have to really, you know, set some goals for myself and, follow through and not get complacent. So, yeah, that's what you have to do is, choose your goals and, shoot for them and, you know, don't get lazy. So I will admit I do have a lazy side, but I'm trying to get better. But thank you for the questions, Jason Smith. And last set of questions are from Grand Theft Rubin. Um, Here we go. Did you know that Lance Gibson, the guy who played Tony's gang member and who got fucked up by a wood chipper led by White Tiger Syndicate, is a retired Canadian MMA fighter? He's recently a fisherman. Don't know who that is. Oh, you're talking about Rumble in the Bronx? Okay. No, I don't know who Lance Gibson. Never, don't know who that is. Question number 2. Did you know that July 18th is not only my birthday, but also the birthday of Paul Verhoeven, one of my heroes, Nelson Mandela? Didn't know that, but happy birthday, man. Um, Question number 3. Do you believe in the curses such as the Superman curse, the Kennedy curse, the Omen curse, among others? Not really. Not too much. I don't know. I'm not a big curse believer, or a believer of that stuff, to be honest with you. It's fascinating, but, interesting to think about, but I'm not too big on curses. I think a lot of that gets overblown, but that's just me. Question number 4. Have you seen Bassie and Adrian? They're a former Dutch circus duo who starred in their own television series. Bassie is a clown who loves cream cakes and calls himself stupid but not smart. Adrian is an educated acrobat. His philosophy is I can't pronounce that. Oh, okay, whatever happens, always keep smiling. I never heard of them. Yeah, I never heard of them, Rubin. Question number 5. Have you heard of the film Nosebleed? Nosebleed was a canceled Jackie Chan action comedy, American movie acquired in February of '99. New Line Cinema, and then later by MGM Studios. Rennie Harlan was, excuse me, damn, swallow that air. Yeah, Rennie Harlan was going to direct. He talks about this film goes far as back as around '99, where Jackie talked about writing the film. And let's see here. There's some other information about that. The book also reportedly had Steven Spielberg in the project. Nosebleed eventually got canceled due to 9/11. The film would star Jackie Chan and 1 or 2 female sidekicks. One which would be his romantic lead and would take place in the New York Twin Towers. The plot would revolve Jackie Chan playing a window washer in the World Trade Center. Jan's character will learn about a group of terrorists somehow planning to destroy the Statue of Liberty. Those sources claim the terrorists were ironically trying to destroy the World Trade Center itself. there's a line supposedly from the script that states it was the Twin Towers. Um, it says right here, a rumor circulates the web originating from a Hong Kong newspaper that Chan would actually begin production for the movie at a certain time on top of the towers. It was reported that the writers failed to complete the script on time, so the film was delayed, and Chan instead visited Toronto to begin filming The Tuxedo. Newspapers later picked up a false quote where Jackie describes his events of escape. The escape has been proven to be false, as Chan had been in Toronto days before the date of the attacks, though the possibility of a movie once being planned to be filmed in September is possible. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. It sounds interesting. I mean, I wonder if Jack Craven, if he sees this, if he's heard about that project, Nosebleed, which was going to star Jackie Chan and be directed by Rennie Harlan. Sounds interesting. No, but never heard of that one. But it sounds interesting if it would have happened, a couple of years prior to what happened at 9/11. But never heard of Nosebleed. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the questions. So that is it here for this Q&A. And again, thank you, Grand Theft Rubin, for the questions. And everybody out there who submitted questions, thank you. And sorry, I hope I did a decent job of answering. Hope I did, decent enough. But again, thank you guys out there for watching, and thank you again for the questions, and I hope you guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you later.